Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna be bringing you guys a video today. We're actually gonna be using shield and sword. We're gonna be fighting Tempered Teostra with shield and sword, but on this video we're gonna be using the Styx. My favorite one is actually Joe's, and Styx is actually quite good as well. Now, if you use shield and sword before, you can actually run almost anything, really. Now on this build, I think the hardest jewel to put on here would be crit boost and challenger jewel. I think those two are probably the least common ones to drop. Of course, I do have two attack jewels here, but you can actually swap out this coil out for the nerd coil. If you don't have a challenger jewel, just run the two attack jewels with tenderizer. You'll be running 4 agitators and 2 attack, and over here you can slot in anything you want, whether it be 2 more expert jewels, but I think that would put you above 50, so it's something that you really don't want to do. Or you can just run that 1 extra attack to have 5 attack and also have, I think, 4 expert jewels. That would also work out. Now, it's really up to you how you want to run this build. So for us to stop ranting, before I get over the build, if you also run the Nerg, you will get the 3-piece Nerg bonus, which would be helpful for that extra health. But aside from that, this is the build we're going to be running. So let's actually go right ahead and head straight to the Wildspire Waste so that we can fight Teostra. Now we're gonna try and get this under 5 minutes. This is actually us trying to attempt to get him under 5 minutes with shield and sword. Like I said before, we can actually pick and choose any weapon we would like to do it on, since I like to learn how to use different weapons, but I also enjoy fighting monsters with different weapons as well. So let's go right ahead. We normally just go for any random food buff. I really am not picky with the food buff I normally go for. Now, if I'm using Charge Blade and its impact, then yes, I will go for Feline Bombardier. But aside from that, I really don't just choose whichever one I want. So let's go right ahead and head straight to the fight. If you want to use your cat for these fights, then go right ahead. I think your cat can be quite useful if you run Choral Orchestra, since you are going to be doing most of the stun damage against Teostra. Your cat can pretty much play the songs as long as Teostra is on the ground. Or you can run the Meow Lakov cocktail. That one also works as well. Now let's go right ahead and get our food buffs going, or get our drug buffs, however you want to look at this. So let's go right ahead. So let's go. Now we're going to be doing the backstep for these combos. Now we're going to be hitting for 100 on the way up, which isn't a lot, but once Agitator kicks in, it will become a lot. And you can also mix it up if you wanted to by using not flash. Like I hate flash in Teostra. It's my least favorite thing because he moves a lot, which is a miracle that he's not moving at all right now. But I do like doing the stuns with the shield, and that's the best thing about the shield. It's the stun that you can add, since you can add stun values to the shield. It's actually literally the best thing ever. Now, one thing you want to know is, or note, is that if you're using elemental shield and sword, it would actually be faster to kill some monsters with elemental, like Teostra. You can actually kill Teostra a lot faster with a water shield and sword than you can with something that would have just raw damage only. And there we go, we stunned them again. Now the shield and sword, if you're using a water one, pretty much the best ones to use, or the ones that ideally you should be using, are the Cove ones, since they actually have quite high water damage. Now if you don't have Coves but you do have Jagras, then use Jagras. That one's actually really good to use as well, especially since it has some pretty decent gem slots. So right here we're just gonna keep stunning him, since that's what we want to do. Now We should have just swapped mantles from here so that we wouldn't be knocked out. Now the best thing about running the mantles when you're doing this particular fight right here is that if you're using the mantle itself, you can actually just keep hitting him, even though he would try and knock you out of the air. And with this mantle, at least you wouldn't get knocked out of the air. Now we're gonna go ahead and he's gonna be flying. All right, cool. This is where we're actually gonna try and knock him out. So with the shield and sword, since this is just a Y backstep combo the whole fight, this is technically what you should be doing if you're using just raw. But if you use an element and the monster's down, you're gonna want to use the sword portion of your shield and sword, because that's actually gonna do the most damage. It's not really gonna be the backstep. Now you're gonna want to use the backstep only when the monster itself is how would you say this? When the monster itself is still up in the air, that's when you want to use your backstep. Once he's down from the backstep, then use your sword portion of the shield and sword so you can do your max damage. Now if we would have timed that correctly, we would have just how would you call it, dodge the roar, because the backstep in this game actually dodges the roar perfectly fine. So right there, we just killed him. How fast did we do it? 3 minutes and 40. That's not bad at all to do it in, since what you technically want to do is get it under 5 to see how many of these you can pump out. Of course, you can do it a lot faster than 3 minutes and 40 seconds with shield and sword. Like I said, the element one is probably the best one you can use. Now there are the techniques for the element one. Like I said, as you can see, I was doing the Y backstep. Once you knock him out with the first Y backstep, that's when you want to go all out on his head with the sword. So the combo is going to look a little bit something like this. So it's just going to be Y, Y, and then B, so that you can get the roundhouse. Or if you were to just go all the way through, as long as you're not touching your right stick, you should be perfectly fine hitting them with the sword. Now, depending if you're just gonna want to get to the roundhouse, it would just be Y, Y, B. That gets you straight into the roundhouse. But if anything else, guys, if you found this helpful and maybe you want to start picking up shield and sword, I don't understand why it's probably one of the lowest used weapon in the game. It's actually quite fun to use, just have to give it a shot. But aside from that, guys, if you guys found this helpful, just leave a like, share with your friends if you want them to pick up shield and sword. Comment, just leave a comment at the bottom, see what weapon or what monster you want me to use it on next. I normally just do tempered monsters, and if I have it as well, sometimes I may not have that tempered monster, so I may have to skip over to another monster. But I will try and get through most of the weapons. I am learning still. There are some weapons that I'm actually having troubles with, but it's not really troubles of technical or how to use. It's more of the monster. But aside from that, guys, peace out, and I hope you guys have a great day or a great night, whatever time zone you're in. But yeah, I will be catching you guys later. Peace.